From space jump to tragedy, Daredevil Felix Baumgartner dies at 56 in tragic paragliding accident in Italy. Felix Baumgartner, the legendary Daredevil skydiver, famously known for his record-breaking jump from the edge of space, has died at the age of 56 following a tragic paragliding accident in Italy. The Austrian extreme athlete lost control of his motor-powered paraglider and crashed into a crowded hotel pool area on Thursday afternoon. Join us as we take a deep dive into this story on the AI podcast.
So the news about Felix Baumgartner, it really landed with quite an impact.
It really did. A huge shock.
Yeah, I mean, here's a name everyone associates with pushing limits, right? The guy who jumped from space.
Literally the edge of space.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then for his life to end, well, not during one of those huge, dangerous stunts, but something seemingly much less extreme. It's hard to process.
It felt jarring, didn't it? Almost unbelievable.
Right. So for this deep dive, what we want to do is really unpack the sources we've got, not just to understand, the specifics of that final flight, but to really appreciate the incredible life he led, the records, the risks. What does his whole story, his journey, tell us about ambition, about risk-taking, and maybe something about the human spirit itself?
That's the goal. And we've gathered quite a bit eyewitness accounts from Italy, local media reports there, his own social media posts, which are quite poignant now.
Yeah.
And, of course, looking back at the context of his biggest achievements. We'll try to connect all those dots for you, give you the clearest picture we can.
Okay, let's start with the end then, as difficult as it is. This tragic event in Italy.
Right. Porta Sant'Elpidio. He was 56.
And it happened during a powered paragliding flight.
Yeah, basically paragliding, but with a motor, allows for sustained flight. It was a Thursday afternoon. Things just went terribly wrong.
The details that came out were just stark.
Very much so. He was apparently on vacation, took off from a place called Fermo nearby,
Okay.
and the crash itself was into a hotel swimming pool
Oh,
at the Limamos campsite.
into a pool.
Into the pool, witnesses described, chaos, disbelief. And what makes it even more harrowing is that there were apparently children playing nearby in that pool area.
Oh, wow. That's awful.
Yeah.
And there was more, wasn't there? Something about him feeling unwell beforehand.
Yes. That's a key detail from the Italian reports. Apparently, he'd complained about feeling unwell before he even took off,
Really?
which immediately led to suspicion that perhaps he suffered a medical emergency, like a cardiac arrest during the flight before the impact.
So the crash might have been a result of that, not the cause of death itself.
It's a strong possibility they were investigating.
Yeah.
And adding to the terrible scene, reports also said he struck a hotel staff member during the fall.
Oh, no. Was that person...
Hospitalized, but thankfully with non-life-threatening injuries, according to the reports we saw.
Okay, well, that's something at least.
Yeah.
And the aftermath for Baumgartner himself.
Well, people tried to help immediately. Resuscitation attempts started right there.
Right.
But emergency services, when they arrived, found him already in cardiac arrest. They couldn't revive him. He was pronounced dead at the scene. A medical helicopter was called, but it was too late.
It's just, yeah. And the social media aspect you mentioned, that's incredibly chilling in retrospect.
It really is.
Yeah.
Just hours before he posted a video, paragliding.
Oh.
And the caption was just, too much wind.
Wow.
Yeah. You look at that now and it feels like this awful foreshadowing.
And there was another post, too.
A few days earlier, yeah. A selfie he took while flying his motorized glider right over that same coastline where it all ended.
Yeah.
It brings that contrast into really sharp focus, doesn't it?
Mm.
This man known for surviving the most extreme calculated risks.
Yeah, ending like this, it's a stark contrast, especially when you think about what most people know him for, which is that absolutely mind-blowing moment in 2012, the Red Bull Stratos jump.
The jump from space. Yeah, that made him a global household name overnight.
Let's really get into the specifics of that because they are just staggering.
They truly are. So the altitude, 127,852 feet. That's over 24 miles up.
Just trying to picture that.
He wore this incredibly complex, custom-designed pressure suit and helmet, basically a personal spacecraft.
Right.
Ascended slowly in a giant helium balloon, took hours. Then the free fall, over 4 minutes long.
4 minutes falling.
And during that fall, he broke the sound barrier, reached Mach 1.25, which is about 843 miles per hour.
Faster than sound, without a vehicle.
The first human to do it in free fall. That one jump set 3 world records. Highest free fall, longest free fall distance without a drogue chute, and fastest speed in free fall. It was monumental.
And this wasn't just some whim, right? This took serious planning.
Oh, absolutely. Over a decade of planning, development, testing, it was a massive scientific and engineering undertaking.
And wasn't it inspired by an earlier jump?
Yes, by Captain Joe Kittinger's jump back in 1960. Kittinger actually became a key mentor for Baumgartner on the Stratos project.
That's amazing.
Yeah, Kittinger was his main point of contact with mission control during the ascent and jump. And a quote from Kittinger when Baumgartner first approached him was something like, "I'll only help if you're serious. You can't go from zero to hero." Really set the tone for the seriousness required.
And the dangers. They were very, very real.
Terrifyingly real. Baumgartner talked about it in interviews. If that suit failed, at that altitude, your blood effectively boils. You've got maybe 15 seconds of useful consciousness, dead shortly after.
Just horrific to contemplate.
And another huge risk was the flat spin. If he lost control and started spinning horizontally, the G-forces could push blood to his extremities, crucially, away from his brain, or worse, pool it in his skull. He described the risk of blood coming out of his eyeballs.
I remember hearing about that spin possibility. Did he actually experience that during the jump?
He did briefly go into a spin, yeah.
Okay.
But he managed to regain control, which is a testament to his skill in the training. It highlighted just how critical every single element was: the suit, the training, the procedures.
So it wasn't just daredevilry, it was this intense fusion of human skill and cutting-edge engineering.
Exactly. It was pushing the boundaries of aerospace medicine, material science, everything. Think about that acceleration.
You mentioned the speed, but how fast did he accelerate?
Reports said 0 to nearly 890 miles per hour in under 50 seconds during the steepest part of the fall. The engineering to allow a human body to withstand that. It's incredible.
The suit must have been the absolute key piece of tech.
Absolutely central. But also the capsule design, the life support, the way the balloon was launched to hit the right stratospheric conditions. It was a whole system, a symphony of technology.
And yet, amidst all that intensity, he described a moment of peace.
Yeah, he did. He talked about it later. During the free fall, once he was stable, he said, "The sky was black. It was completely silent. All I could hear was my own breathing."
Wow, silence at 800 miles per hour. That's quite something.
It's a surreal moment, you'd imagine, floating between the blackness of space and the blue curve of the Earth.
It gives you a glimpse maybe into the mindset required for these things. But the Stratos jump, as huge as it was, wasn't the start or the end of his boundary pushing, was it?
Not at all. It was the peak, maybe, in terms of global attention, but it was built on decades of extreme achievements.
Where did it all begin for him?
He started young, began skydiving at 16.
Yeah.
They got into base jumping.
Right, base jumping, buildings, antennas, spans, Earth. Much more dangerous than skydiving from a plane.
Significantly. Less altitude, less time to react, obstacles. Very high risk. He partnered with Red Bull quite early, back in the late 80s, and became one of the world's best-known base jumpers.
And he racked up quite a list of records and firsts.
An incredible list. Let's see, 1999, he jumped from the Petronas Towers in Kuala Lumpur, one of the first really high-profile urban base jumps.
I remember that one. Iconic.
Then 2000, jumped off the Christ the Redeemer statue in Rio. Logistically complex, that one.
Must have been.
2003 was a big one. He flew across the English Channel using a carbon fiber wingsuit, no propulsion, just gliding.
A human flight across the channel.
Pretty much. Then jumps from structures like the Millau Viaduct in France in 2004, the Turning Torso building in Sweden in 2006.
He just kept finding higher, more challenging spots.
Exactly. In 2007, he base jumped from what was then the world's tallest building, Taipei 101. That one actually got him banned from Taiwan.
Really? Why?
Apparently he did it without official permission, violating local laws, but it was another record highest base jump from a building at the time.
So, over his whole career, how many records are we talking?
The count is around 14 official world records throughout his life.
14. It really underscores that this wasn't just about thrills.
No, I think you're right. Each jump, each flight seemed to be about exploring potential, testing limits his own, and maybe human limits generally. Physics, courage, engineering. He pushed on all fronts.
He became this global symbol of, I guess, fearless ambition.
Absolutely. He inspired a lot of people. And he had this quote that seems to sum up his drive pretty well. Something like, "You're always thinking, what more can I do? Go faster, go higher." It's always floating out there.
That restlessness.
That constant need to push the envelope. Yeah,
And it's interesting to hear about the person behind the Daredevil image.
definitely. The mayor, Porto Sant'Elpidio, called him a symbol of courage and passion. But even more revealing, maybe, are comments from Christian Rettel, someone he mentored. Rettel described him as incredibly methodical.
Methodical, not reckless.
No, Rettel insisted he put a lot of thought into every jump, was never reckless and always calculated, very focused on safety and planning.
That adds another layer, doesn't it? The meticulous planner behind the extreme feats.
It does. And reminds us of the personal side, too. His wife, Mihaela Schwarzenberg, was reportedly in Italy at the time and rushed to the scene. A terrible personal tragedy beyond the public loss.
So when we try to bring this all together, the whole arc of Felix Baumgartner's life, what's the takeaway?
Well, you have this extraordinary life, decades spent seemingly defying gravity, defying fear, setting these unbelievable records.
Records that genuinely blew people's minds.
Right, and then it ends so suddenly, tragically. Not in the stratosphere, but during a recreational flight.
It forces you to reconsider things.
It does. His life is this incredible story of meticulous planning, immense courage, that relentless drive you mentioned. But his death, it does raise questions, doesn't it?
Like what?
Like how even for someone who mastered risk assessment on such an extreme level, who calculated everything, unforeseen things can still happen. There may be some risks, like a sudden health event, or just beyond calculation.
There's an ultimate unpredictable factor.
Perhaps. It underscores that vulnerability, maybe, even for legends.
His legacy, though, in aerial sports and exploration, it's undeniable.
Oh, completely unmatched. He was an innovator, truly an inspiration for so many, a symbol, really, of refusing to accept limits.
That idea he seemed to embody, the sky isn't the limit, it's just the start.
That's a powerful way to put it, yeah.
So the question for you, listening, might be this.
Yeah.
What does Felix Baumgartner's life, this incredible journey defined by pushing limits and his unexpected final accident, what does it tell you about that line between ambition and risk?
That delicate balance. And about the nature of limits themselves. Are they barriers or are they invitations? What really stands out to you when you think about his story?
Okay, one more question. Do you think extreme athletes like Felix should continue pushing physical limits knowing the risks involved? Don't forget to comment it. Thanks.